The Story of Ethan. From Mockery to Success. Ethan was a young boy from a small, underdeveloped village in the countryside. Life had never been kind to him. His family was poor, his clothes were worn out, and he often carried an old, torn school bag that became a reason for others to mock him. In school, he was the target of jokes, and no one ever took him seriously. His classmates called him names like loser and dreamer. Even his teachers ignored him, believing he had little potential. But what no one could see was the fire burning inside Ethan, a desire to prove everyone wrong and change the world around him. Early struggles. Ethan's father worked as a farmer, barely earning enough to support the family, while his mother spent her days stitching clothes to add to the income. The village had no electricity, and after sunset, the entire place plunged into darkness. Ethan would study under the faint glow of a kerosene lamp. One day at school, the teacher mentioned how electricity had transformed cities and towns. The concept fascinated Ethan. He began to dream of a future where his village, too, would be lit up like the cities he had heard about. When Ethan shared his dream with his friends, they laughed at him. "You? Solve the village's problems? You can't even solve a math problem in class." Ethan didn't respond, but the words struck him deeply. Instead of being discouraged, he decided to work harder. The spark of an idea. One day, while exploring an old library in the village, Ethan found a book on solar energy. He learned how sunlight could be harnessed to produce electricity. He became obsessed with the idea and started collecting scrap materials, old batteries, glass pieces, and metal scraps, to create his own solar panel. When the villagers saw him scavenging for junk, they ridiculed him. "Look at the crazy boy. He thinks he'll bring electricity to the village. Maybe he should fix his own life first before fixing ours." Despite the taunts, Ethan continued working on his little project. He spent nights experimenting in his backyard, using every ounce of free time he had. The first success. Months of hard work finally paid off when Ethan managed to power a small light bulb in his home using his homemade solar panel. It was a small victory, but for his parents, it was a miracle. They were overwhelmed with pride, but the rest of the village still doubted him. "It's just beginner's luck," they said. "This won't last. He'll fail soon enough." Ethan didn't let their negativity affect him. Instead, he decided to think bigger. Narananthorn, facing challenges. Encouraged by his initial success, Ethan approached the local landowners and village elders, asking for their support to scale up his solar project. But they dismissed him outright. One even mocked him, saying, "A poor boy like you should focus on farming, not on silly dreams." Some went as far as to threaten his family, telling them to stop Ethan's nonsense or face consequences. Ethan felt defeated for a moment, but soon realized he needed to expand his knowledge and find support outside the village. The struggles in the city. Determined to make a difference, Ethan left his village and went to the nearest city. Life in the city was harsh. He had no place to stay, and no money to survive. He took up part-time jobs, slept on park benches, and spent his evenings in public libraries learning more about renewable energy. After months of struggle, Ethan attended a science exhibition, where he presented his idea of bringing solar power to rural areas. A businessman at the event was impressed by Ethan's passion and determination. He offered to fund Ethan's project, seeing its potential to transform lives. Turning dreams into reality. With funding and resources, Ethan returned to his village and built a small solar power plant. Within months, his project began providing electricity not just to his village, but also to nearby areas. For the first time, the village streets were lit at night, and homes glowed with light bulbs instead of kerosene lamps. Ethan's name spread like wildfire. The same people who once mocked him now celebrated him as their hero. The village elders who had dismissed him now praised him as an inspiration. Ethan today. Years later, Ethan's solar company has become one of the leading renewable energy providers in the country. His village, once lost in darkness, is now a beacon of progress. Schools, clinics, and homes thrive under the light Ethan brought to them. Ethan's story is shared far and wide, not just as an example of innovation, but as a testament to resilience. The boy who was once called a loser is now called a visionary. And Ethan himself often says, "Success is the best answer to mockery." Moral of the story. Ethan's journey proves that no matter how many people doubt you or mock your dreams, determination and hard work can turn the impossible into reality. Keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does.